US తెలుగు పిల్లలు. Good evening, all. So, welcome to this final class of the semester on production planning and control. So, like in the first class, as we have discussed that whatever syllabus we will be completing in the entire course, and since now everything is being completed, so I'm planning to find out the important questions which would be coming from each of the unit under this course of production planning and control. Okay, and so today is our final introduction that I'm Jesidat Yadav, assistant professor in mechanical engineering, and I've already taught you the course on production planning and control. So today is like a revision class. So if anyone is there, you can simply attend it. Okay, so coming to the syllabus structure. As we already know that the examination structure of your end semester examination is 20 and 80 marks, like 20 marks internal, 2 internals, out of which average will be taken, and external is of 80 marks, which consists of all these courses, where 20 marks is again of short questions, 5 short questions of 4 marks each, and the other 60 marks are the long questions, 10 marks, 10 into 6, 60 marks. Okay. So among that, or according to that, the syllabus structure is also being designed as 6 modules, or the structure of the entire syllabus consists of this strict 6 subjects, or the 6 topics which are being present. And the first one is the concepts of PPC, or the concepts of production planning and control. So excuse me. So the first module consists of our concepts of PPC, or production planning and control. Just a minute, excuse me. I hope it is audible to everyone. So in the subject of production planning and control, initially we'll be having the concepts of PPC. which is the production planning control. What are the different topics which are present in production planning and control? Why production planning and control is required in an industry, or for a manufacturing industry or any industry? Why this production planning and control is important? What are the functions of this production planning, and what are the functions of the control once the production and planning is being done? Okay, so this is essentially a theoretical part where the important parts or the important topics are the functions which are utilized in the production planning and control. That's what is the initial part, which is the concepts of PPC or production planning and control. Next part or the module 2 consists of our forecasting, aggregate planning and capacity planning, among which forecasting or one problem or one question from forecasting is an important task or an important very important question which is generally coming in the exam. Or from examination point of view, forecasting is one important question which is a sure shot question which will be coming. And the next topics are the aggregate planning and the capacity planning, among which aggregate planning and the capacity planning consists of the total steps or the total functions how the planning is being done for the aggregate planning and the capacity planning, which is the other important topics from module 2. From module 3 or the third topic, we are having the inventory control, which is one more very important topic, and one sure shot question will be generally coming from this inventory control. And next one, we are having the process planning and the line balancing and the production planning, scheduling and sequencing. And generally from this production sequencing scheduling, we'll be having one problem which is generally coming in the exams. And then finally, we are having the material requirement programming or MRP planning, material requirement planning and manufacturing planning, resource planning, which is MRP and MRP2, and the enterprise resource planning, which is ERP, all softwares which are utilized to generate or control the employees' numbers and the other staffs, is what we'll be learning in this module 6 or this entire topics of the syllabus which we have covered. So for individual classes or for individual topics, you can refer the previous videos which is present, which I'll be sharing you as links in the next in the links as links in this video for each of these topics. Okay, so this is how the entire syllabus structure is being designed or the syllabus is being present for production planning and control. Now among this, what are the important topics or how they are being divided or what are the courses which comes as questions is what we'll be learning. So generally from the short questions and the long questions model of questions which are present in that one, from each of the module at least one short question of 5 marks is being given in the end semester exam and one long question covering each of the module of any topic. So it is better to learn one topic thoroughly rather than picking up few important topics from any of the topic. Like if you are working on inventory, then it is better to solve all the problems on inventory and be thorough with inventory rather than covering the entire topics and only a few parts of inventory. Okay, so when it is very important topic of inventory, we will be covering all the topics from inventory so that you'll be able to at least attend one question, one long question from that topic properly. So here are the questions or the important questions which are taken from the previous years. Like for the first unit or the first module, the 5 mark questions are: discuss the prerequisites of production planning and control and define the term production planning and control and list down the needs. Again, the functions of PPC. What are the functions of production planning and control, which is nothing but of 10 marks, which came in the year of 2018, and the respective 5 marks which came in the 2019. Or the previous year or the previous question paper had these questions in the last 2 years, 2019 and 2018 respectively. Okay, so generally what can we assume or what can we predict from this first unit? We can predict that there will be one theory question of 10 marks and one problem which is on inventory. Okay, or in the first question of the long questions, there will be one theory question which will be generally determining what are the functions of the production planning and control and what are the requisites or the requirements of production planning and control, or in general what is production planning and control and what are the functions of that production planning and control. So that's what we'll be generally having in this entire topic of questions which is present. So if we take a sample question paper, first one is this one. I hope the question paper is, you're able to see the question paper properly. So the first question in this is, define the term of production planning and control and list down its needs. So why is it needed, production planning and control, and what are the needs? So generally, what is production? Finding out or getting the end output, or converting a raw material into the output. We need a certain plan for that production, which is generally called as our production planning. And once during the process, when there is a requirement of controlling the resources such as man, material, and money, how to control that, and what are the different processes to control that. If that entire topics are being generated or learned under a topic, then that is generally called as our production planning and control. So that is what is the basic need of learning production planning and control. The basic need of learning this production planning and control is how to convert a raw material into a final product with utilizing our resources of men, material, and money, is what is the basic need of our production planning and control. Okay, and also the uh, and also this production planning and control generally deals with the entire process of how to plan, how to control, and how to deal with the controlling process once everything is ready. Okay, that is what is the term production planning and control and its need. And each of these processes or each of these questions carries 5 marks each. And generally remember that for evaluation of or during correction of your papers, since we generally go for the correction of papers, so I'm just telling it out of experience. Like all the questions, whatever answers which you are doing or whatever answers you are writing, they are generally being given as what you call a scheme of evaluation. Like if we want to write the first answer, like define the term of production planning and control and list down its need. Then this entire term will be divided into different parts. How the 5 marks will be divided? Like for the definition of production planning and control, there will be 3 marks. What are the needs? There will be 2 marks. So based upon that 3 marks plus 2 marks, you'll be getting the 5 marks. And among that, defining that entire term of production, what is production, what is planning, and what is control. If you given all the 3 terms, then you'll be getting 3 marks. What are the needs which are required for that one? That will be carrying again 2 marks. So based upon that, you'll be having this entire term of 5 marks, which is given for the term production planning and control and the need which is present. Okay. Next, in the same manner, what we get, or the next question which came in 2019 or the previous year is that what are the subsidiary orders? How do they differ from work orders? Give its examples. Okay. Please excuse me for a minute. If you're having any doubts, please type it in the chat box. So the second question consists of this: what are the subsidiary orders and how do they differ from work orders? So we generally deal with this topic that whenever we are taking certain amount of orders, then there will be certain amount of clients who will be ordering certain data, which is also called as work orders. From that work orders, whatever are being differentiated or whatever we are getting as extra orders, they are generally called as our subsidiary orders. Like for example, if you take a mobile shop, then a brand new mobile which is being sold or the model of a brand new mobile which is sold, that is generally coming under the work order. And if there are some accessories or from that related mobile, if there are certain amount of accessories which are to be sold, if there is certain amount of repair which is being coming for the mobile, then they will be coming under this topic of subsidiary orders. Okay, So that is what is this example, that if a brand new mobile is taken and that is a work order which needs to be taken care by writing a bill of material or the bill of equipment for making it or providing it, which is generally called the work order. And due to that, whatever orders are being raised, like the accessories or any repairs if it is coming, or the glasses which we put, gorilla glasses, all those are coming under the subsidiary orders, which is an example for this topic. Okay. So the next one what is we call as the different types of inventories. How do we store that one, or what are the different types of inventories are this topic. If we want this, we can just check that one. So the generally there are four types of inventories which are being present. Raw material inventory, work in progress inventory, finished goods inventory, maintenance inventory, repair and overhaul inventory. And for managing it, we generally utilize the best inventory managing software. And generally, these inventories are being utilized, which are generally used are the raw materials inventory, work in progress inventory, finished goods inventory, and the maintenance, repair, and overhaul inventory. So, based upon that, what are the individual inventories and how they are being defined? If you write down each of the example for each of them, then you'll be generally getting that as 5 marks. What is a process sheet? Process sheet, if when we deliver a product and when we deliver that from raw material to the final product, when we write it down on a paper, then that is generally called as our process sheet. And the process sheet should contain all the important bills or orders which are taken and how they are being ordered, what are they ordering, and what are the different conditions to be ordered under that process sheet, and everything is what will be present under the details which are present in the process sheet. Critical path method and project evaluation review technique. We have already learned that in our topics, in our videos. You can see our previous videos for finding out the difference between this project evaluation review technique and the critical path method. How to find out the optimistic time, pessimistic time, and the overall time, and the critical path is what we can find out from CPM. And how to complete a project within a stipulated amount of time with the available resources is what we can find out by PERT or project evaluation review technique. So that is what completes our entire topics of this short questions, which are differentiation between CPM and PERT and other examples. Now, what are the basic functions of a PPC system? Again, as like our previous one, this long question is again consisting of what are the functions of PPC system or production planning control system. What are the different functions which are present, how the functions can be altered or how the functions can be defined, and everything can be found out, which can be discussed briefly. Okay, let me just discuss it once again. So coming to the functions of this production planning and control, these are all the different functions that the 10 functions of production planning and control cycle are controlling or planning and producing the material methods, men, machine and manpower, routing, estimating, scheduling, dispatching, expediting, inspection and evaluating. So these are generally the functions of our production planning and control. All of this generally comes under the entire cycle, which is generally called as our pre-planning, planning and control. So if you draw this diagram and explain each of the point, like materials, methods, facilities, machines, and manpower. Each of them, when you explain that properly, then you'll be getting the entire 10 marks which is given for the schedule as per the evaluation scheme or the scheme of evaluation. So the general functions of a production planning control are initially initiating the planning process, which is generally called as our pre-planning, which indicates the production development and design, the sales forecasting, the estimation, the factory layout, the equipment policy, and the pre-planning production. Then next coming or the next process which comes into the picture is the planning or the entire process of planning, which is how the materials, methods, and the machine and the manpower are properly being handled, which is nothing but the planning of the resources, where basically the four M's come into pictures, which are the methods, machines, manpower, and the most important one, which is money. How to handle everything is what will be coming under this topic of resources. Once we properly plan that one, then we'll be having the next topic, which is the routing of this process of machines and manpower, from which we estimate the data, which is called as the estimating, then scheduling or planning for each of the part, which is generally called as our scheduling process. Once the scheduling process is being done, then as per that order, everything will be prepared as per the schedule, which is generally called as our scheduling process. Then comes our dispatching process, which is utilizing how we can generate the items which is needed to be dispatched or which is needed to be taken from the place of production to the process of where it is ordered, or the place where it is ordered to generate that or to transfer that, that is generally called as a dispatching process. And then or before dispatching, we can even find out what is the inspection process, where we need to find out how the products which are being formed, they are being in proper order or not. That can be found out by utilizing this inspection process. And then the expediting process, and finally if all the sales are being properly done or not, and is there if there is any lacunas which are being present, or to overcome that, if we need certain amount of processes which are being done, then that is generally called as our evaluating process. So these are generally the 10 functions of our production planning and control cycle. So we can generally define that as our production planning is defined as the means by which a manufacturing plan is determined, information issued for its execution is collected, that is the data is being collected and recorded, which will enable the plan to be controlled through all its stages. So the entire 10 functions consists of all this data, like a plan which is to be determined, information which is being issued for the execution, data which is collected and recorded, which is enabled by the plan, which is to be controlled through all its stages, which is generally called as our production planning process. So what are the general functions of this production planning? Production planning. The functions of this production planning includes the investigation about the complete details and requirements of the product which is to be manufactured, all the details representing the data predetermined of the future achievements, like our targets, what we need to achieve, planning the design of the product which is going to be manufactured, how the final product will be made, and what are the steps which are to be followed to get that one, planning about the quality and quantity of the material which are to be consumed, planning about the standards of the quality to be products which are to be manufactured, planning about the sequence of operations, planning about the capacity of the equipments, and planning about the internal transportation. So if we take an example, like we have taken the example of mobile manufacturing or your cells manufacturing. So during that condition, whenever we want to manufacture a mobile, we need to first find out what are the parts which are being present in it. All the sensors, all the microprocessors and the microcontrollers, the hard disks, RAM, everything is need to be assembled. So in order to assemble that, we need to first find out all those products. So what are those products? That investigation will be coming under this first step, which is generally called as our investigation about the complete details of and requirements of the product which is to be manufactured. So initially, what are the requirements which are being present? All the manufacturing details like the microprocessors and the microcontrollers, other devices, and every other details are to be first collected, which is generally called as our investigation about the complete details and the requirement of the product which is to be manufactured. Then, in a month, how many achievements is needed to be made? That can be done by utilizing this predetermination of the future achievements. In a month, what is our target of mobiles which is to be reaching the audience can be determined by predetermination of our future achievements. Then, planning the design of the product which is going to be manufactured. So for the mobile, which design is to be given, like whether it will be a 4G mobile or a 5G mobile with a flat screen or a curved screen, with all the essential features of what are the camera quality which are needed, how much amount of megapixels which will be done, what will be the price of the mobile which will be keeping. Everything will be dealt or everything will be done by the action of this planning the design of a product which is going to be manufactured. And then finally we will be dealing with the, once the design of the product is ready or it is being manufactured, then we'll be dealing with the planning about the quality and quantity of the materials which are to be consumed. What are the quality of the materials which are to be chosen as per our budget which is available, and based upon our investment how many quantity of materials can be brought is what can be planned properly under this function of planning about the quality and quantity of the materials which are to be consumed. And then we'll be dealing with the planning about the standards of the quality, which quality of products or what quality of products can be utilized for the manufacturing process as per our budget or as per our investment is also being done under this function only. And then once everything is ready, then we need to process the sequence of operations which is to be done first as an order which we are generally following or we are ordering and as per the sequencing and the scheduling processes. And then finally we are planning about the capacity of the equipments, what amount of capacity of the equipments we are finding out and how much we are taking is what we can find out. And then we are finding out the planning about our internal transportation, how to transport that from one place to the other place. That is generally being done by internal transportation. So that's what is this function of production planning and control. With like this example if you give and if you write the answer, then it will be basically very helpful for you to for getting the 10 marks which is being utilized. Okay, so this is an example how to write an answer whenever this question or this type of question is being given. Okay, this is how a theory question is to be attempted in our exam to get your full marks. Like we need to first write down a small introduction of how what is the PPC system, and then directly the diagram representing the total functions of pre-planning, planning and the production, and then individually describing 10 functions. So each of those functions will be carrying 1 mark each, which finally gives us the total 10 marks, which is the functions of production planning and control. Okay, so this is how generally we need to attempt or we need to do when we are attempting a long question. Then how to find out the next question. With the help of the needs quiz, derive the equation of economic order quantity with instantaneous stock replenishment basic inventory model. So this is a question which is directly coming from the topic of inventory or the inventory model. Okay, so in which we need to find out what is the equation which is required for EOQ or economic order quantity with instantaneous stock replenishment. So for this we'll be directly dealing with the module 2 of inventory topic, and since it is a derivation, so directly the derivation will be carrying off 2 marks each step for 5 steps, where finally the equation of EOQ will be giving you the final 2 marks. So there will be 5 into 2 marks for each of the step of the derivation, and for the final answer we will be getting that total 10 marks for this derivation. Okay. Now, the next one, how to approach a problematic part or problematic question if it is present, then how to approach that. Like here in this example, we need to classify the following items into A, B and C and draw the ABC curve. If you remember from the previous videos, what is an ABC? As per the degree of essentiality or based upon the degree of requirement, we will be generally classifying the products into A, B and C as per the requirement. So that's what includes the importance of the products as per the excuse me, as per the A, B and C. Okay, which are very essential, moderately essential and less essential. As per that, we'll be deriving that into that A, B, C products. So as per that, in this problem, we'll first identify all the numbered which are being given. Numbered products like 501, 502, 503, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of them will be ordered and the annual consumption for each of the product. What is the annual consumption and what is the unit price for each of them? And based upon this data which is being available, as per that we'll find out what is the total amount of price which is being taken for each of them. And as per that price of higher price and lower price, we'll be classifying them into A, B and C. And once that is being done, then as per that we'll draw the curve for the ABC curve. So this entire 10 marks will be divided as the given data will be given for 1 mark. For finding out the total amount of price for annually what is the total price which is occurring, that will be termed as another 3 marks. Classifying them into A, B and C will be given as 3 marks. And finally the final part of ABC curve or the curve part will give us 3 marks. So this entire 10 marks will be divided into this manner when we are having the scheme of evaluation or correction. Okay. So this is what is 10 marks, and then next we are having the B bit. Third bit's B bit. An investigation into the demand for water pumps manufactured by a particular company, Joy Engineering Private Limited, resulted in the following historical data. Based upon this data of 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17, we need to find what are the trend of sales for the next 3 years, or this is generally a forecasting problem. So from this forecasting problem, next 3 years we need to find. So the average amount of sales of 3 years if we find out, then for the next 3 years also we can find out what is the trend of sales, or if in the same manner the sales continues, then what will be the minimum amount of sales for the upcoming 3 years is what can be found out from this data which is present. Okay, so that is what, or utilizing that, once we classify that given data and the problem which is being solved from the forecasting problems and the trend of the sales for the upcoming 3 years of 18, 19 and 20, if it has been found out, then that entire topic or the entire part will give us the 10 marks which is being given. Okay, so from here or up till question 3, 2 and 3 question, it indicates that one problem of forecasting and one question from inventory and one theory question from the basics of production planning and control are compulsorily coming or very importantly coming from these two topics of question 2 and question 3. So generally our question 2 and question 3 will be coming or utilizing the basic 3 topics of inventory, forecasting and the basics of production planning and control, like how they are divided, what are the functions and what are the classifications of PPC or production planning and control system syllabus. Okay, so if we study the first 3 topics, the basics of production planning and control, the forecasting topic and the inventory topic, then we'll be generally having 20 marks along with extra 10 marks from the short questions which are being present, which makes us or which gives us the total 30 marks from these first 2 units. Okay, or from the first 2 units we'll be having this 30 marks question, 20 marks from this one and 10 marks from the short questions which are being implemented or utilized, and which can be seen from this question paper which is of the previous year 2019 question paper. Next, moving on to our next topic, question number 4. What does the question number 4 state? It states that using the graphical method, we need to minimize the time which is required for the process the following jobs on the machines, calculating the total elapsed time and completing both the jobs. So sequencing process, job 1, 2 jobs, sequencing process is being present. over here where the job 1 and the sequence of A, B, C, D, E and A, B, C, D, E are generally given with 6, 8, 4, 12 and 4 marks, and 10, 8, 6, 4 and 12 hours. Okay, so this is a typical example of a Johnson's algorithm which consists of two jobs and n machines or m machines. Okay, so with two job and n machines, what will be the process, or two machines and m number of jobs, what will be the process? So what do we generally do in such type of problems? We generally put the sequence of A, B, C, D and E, and based upon that process, of sequence, we'll find out either from machine 1 or else from machine 2 which sequence is to be followed to find out the first order of placement of the machines. Like among A, B, C, D, E and job 2 A, B, C, D, E, you can see that 4 is the minimum amount of time which is required. Hence, in that order, we may either place it as C and D, where C will be in the extreme left hand corner and D will be in the extreme right hand corner. Okay, so when we place that C and D, then the machines of other one, which is again E, which is present, which is again 4. So C, E and extreme right side D will be our order first, then will be coming our B and A. So as per that, when we utilize this or when we use this data, then we generally say that C, E, A, B and D will be our order for finding out the minimum time which is utilized. And based upon that minimum time, we can find out what is the amount of data or what is the amount of hours a machine is left idle. That can also be found out, and that is generally called as our elapsed time. And based upon that elapsed time, we can find out what amount of time a machine remains idle and in what particular period time, or what is the total amount of time which will be taken by each of the machine to complete the entire task, which we have already discussed in the previous classes or previous videos. Anyways, for your example or for your understanding, I'll just check that once, or I'll just show it once again to you. So here in this case, let's see the scheduling process. Like you can see over here with the jobs of arrival date and due date, the job A, B, C, D, E and F with the processing times of these 15, 20, 10, 30, 25 and 18, and the arrival date is 95, due date is 185, 110 to 200, 112 to 175, 125 to 235, 125 to 180, 130 to 220. All of these are the arrivals and the due dates which have been present. Okay. Based upon that, whenever we process that, then as per our data of the processing time, we will be having the first come and the first serve process of this solution. Okay, like in the same manner when we utilize the Johnson's algorithm method. This is exactly the problem which we are doing right now. Like there are two machines and different jobs of PQR, ST and U, where we are having these different amount of times. Where see in this one the machine 2 is having the minimum time of 6, which is for P. So from the right hand side, P is being inserted first. after P we are having the minimum time to be U, which is again in machine 2. So that's why besides P along the right hand side we are having U. Okay, so please remember that when top corner or top part is being utilized, then we'll be utilizing that in the left hand side. Like if it is present in this part or machine 1, then it will be coming from this order from machine 1 to machine 2. Okay, from left to right. But if it is present in the lower part or machine 2, then it will be coming from this part to this part or from right to the left. Okay, since 6 is present in machine 2, so that's why P we are replacing it over here first. U7 is present, that is also machine 2, so that's why U we are replacing over here. Okay, then after that, then we'll see that R8 is present, so that's why it is in machine 1, so it is coming in the left hand side part R. And then finally 11, which is the next one, which is T, coming over here, and then S, which is 20, which is coming over here, and finally 32, which is Q. Okay, so based upon that we are having the sequence of R, T, S, Q, U and P. As per that order, when we simply write it down, then the final output time will be giving us at 109 hours, and for machine 2 it is 115 hours. So based upon that, the minimum idle time or the elapsed time will be getting us or will be giving us as 115 minus 109, which is for based upon the value what is the total time, and as per that we can also find out what is the elapsed time, idle time for each of the machines 11, 12 and 5, which is giving us the total 28 hours, which is the idle time for machine 2. 28 hours will be the idle time. Okay, so in this exact manner or in the same manner, when you solve this problem, you'll be getting that entire 10 marks for sequencing problems. Okay, which is being shown over here in this problem. In that same manner, simply by finding out the order of sequence, arranging them, and then finding out the elapsed time will give you the 10 marks for this problem. Okay, which is this fourth question. Next, coming to the fourth part B bit, a workshop has 4 machines and 4 tasks which are to be completed. Each of the machine can be performed giving us 4 tasks. Now based upon that, how should we assign the task of the machines to minimize the require of the machine hours is what is being done over here. So there are 4 tasks over here as like the previous one where 2 machines and n number of jobs were present. Here over here we are having number of machines to be 4 and even the tasks to be more 4. So for 4 machines and 4 tasks, how to completely minimize it and give the order of minimum time which is to be scheduled can be found out by utilizing this question number B. Okay, so from sequencing and scheduling, if you learn it thoroughly, then definitely 20 marks will be again coming into your pocket from examination point of view. Coming to the next one, what are the advantages and limitations of linear programming? LPP problem, simplex method, dual M method, big M method. All those methods when you learn, what are the advantages and limitations that can be giving us this 10 marks, which is for this one. Hence, a farm which produces 3 products, the products are processed on 3 different machines. 3 machines are given in the table. Formulate a linear LPP that will be maximizing the daily profit. So we need this to we need to maximize the daily profit. So in order to maximize the profit, we will be utilizing this machine and this products and utilizing the simplex method of maximizing the product. We'll find out the constant functions and the other parts and we can solve that one to get the profit. What will be the maximum profit which will be generated? That will be giving us this 10 marks. Okay, and finally the B bit is for project evaluation review technique by drawing the network and finding out the critical path method. We can find out what is the amount of time cost trade which is being present for the project. So in order to find out that one, you need to be thorough with POT topic and CPM topic. Okay, and finally the last question is this theory topic, which is again prerequisites of PPC, which is for 5 marks. So definitely one question which is from the prerequisites of PPC or else functions of PPC, 5 marks question is definitely coming in any set of paper. Just in time and its 7 wastes, what is 2 bin system, forward scheduling and backward scheduling. Okay, so all theory parts from all the modules are being included in question 6. So whoever is preparing theory for the exam can expect an extra 20 marks in the final part of the topic or the sixth question. So this is how the questions are being divided in your Mumbai University exam schedule, which indicates that from each of the topic like inventory 10 marks, basics of production planning and control 10 marks, sequencing and scheduling definitely 10 marks, LPP linear programming problem 10 marks, and your spot and CPM 10 marks. From these 5 topics 10 10 10 each of 50 marks surely are to be coming. Other than this, all the theories are being included from different modules under the sixth question, which indicates the 20 marks which is present as theory question. Okay. Then likewise in the previous question, if we compare are these questions are repeatedly coming or not, so just to check that one I added this another question. You can see that one like in 2018, this is the last year's 2019 or previous to that one, the 2018 question. Again see in this the function of PPC is present, so one question from function of PPC is either coming as long question or short question for sure. Work orders, GIT and MRP, material resource planning, okay, and just in time production difference. What is CADP or computer aided process planning? What is forecasting error? Forecasting topic we are having this next one, or factors influencing the scheduling, how to control the scheduling process. That will be again 5 marks. Then again you can see in question number 2 the prerequisites of PPC. So if you learn the prerequisites and function, then definitely you'll be able to get 15 marks from any type of question paper. So you can see in the previous question paper and this question paper also the prerequisites and the functions of PPC are generally coming, which are very important topic as of now. Then from this one we need whether it is advisable to accept the discount is what is the question in this. So forecasting or by utilizing the methods of forecasting we can find out this. Same manner using exponential smoothing forecasting. So from forecasting again definitely one question is coming. Using the least square method forecasting. So in this question paper or in this particular year 30 marks of forecasting topic has directly been come. Then based upon economic order quantity, safety stock, all definitions, 110 mark questions. Various steps linking to a process plan is 10 marks. So theory marks 20 marks. Fifth question is again a problem which how should be the job assigned, which is M machines and 4 jobs and 4 machine again parts, which by utilizing Johnson's algorithm when we solve that one you'll be again getting 10 marks. Network diagram of project evaluation technique, PERT and CPM, and the difference is again 20 marks. And finally we are having the dispatching process, dispatching and the crash which is present, that would be coming 20 marks. So overall when we see then definitely prerequisites and functions of PPC one question which is for 50 marks surely coming. Forecasting 15 marks to 30 marks it is surely coming. Sequencing and scheduling 20 marks is definitely coming. And then finally project PERT and CPM, that is definitely coming for 20 marks. So if you learn these 4 topics properly, at least you'll be able to attempt 60 marks from that 80 marks question paper which has been coming. What are those 4 topics? PERT and CPM, sequencing and scheduling, forecasting and inventory, and finally the basic parts, the basic requirements of prerequisites of PPC and functions of PPC. So if these 4 to 5 topics if you learn properly and ultimately definitely you'll be getting minimum 60 out of 80 from the question paper which is being present. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the course as like me with these all the topics whatever I have covered and you have learned that one. Keep posting your questions if you are having any doubts, or if you want to learn more about any particular topics, please remind me or please drop in a message. I'll reply definitely. And all the best for your exam, and I hope you'll register with this course to get proper knowledge of how to handle the subject of production planning and control, or how to learn your production planning control in a proper way, and finally write properly in your exams and get good marks and even the knowledge which you require. Okay, all the best and wish you all a very happy new year, or the upcoming happy new year. Wish you all a very happy new year. Thank you all for your support.